So basically, I recently tried to submit content to the user-generated content program in offensive security. However, that didn't really work out as planned, as generally planned in essence, because you know the team itself didn't really like the content. Like I submitted two systems, and they thought that it took a while as well because I had to inform me to make various changes, but they felt as though that the systems weren't in line with what they wanted, and they could have possibly accepted one system. But I felt as though, in that sense, I would have got like not the full prize of the award for the system, and so I felt that it wasn't really adequate enough for me personally, because I felt as though with the work that I put in, especially working with them in order to make sure that the system was up to scratch, it was pretty decent, and I put together a decent guide in relation to the build guide and the walkthroughs to actually enable, an individual to be able to have an extended learning process while exploring the system, rather than just getting to the shell, the ability to actually learn and have a bit of enjoyment in relation to understanding how this actually functions. Overall was the key particular thing here. However, they felt that it wasn't really adequate, which was a bit of a downer in a sense. But I did sort of put together a decent build guide, and so I released the machine to the public, so the public can just use it. Because to me, I felt as though if it wasn't going to get the full amount, then it wasn't really worth it. And as I was building the system, I tried to make it in line with the ways with offensive security's teaching style, especially around the exploit modification type of stuff. And this is not things that you'd have to just Google. All you had to do to compromise the system was do a little bit of research. Spend a couple of hours just looking at some research about certificates, possibilities, and capabilities, and just looking at the Docker daemon. Just looking at the Docker daemon, just at the Docker documentation, looking at the daemon's authentication methodologies, that would have given you a good insight into actually hacking the system without actually knowing what it's composed of and what it's about. You can go take a look there and give it a whirl if you have spare time, and it's something that can be easily be built via Vagrant if one so required. It uses a CentOS 7 system. And yeah, that's pretty much that really in relation to that. And I just felt that it was something good, and I put some decent work into actually composing it. But I wanted to make sure that I get a system in that's in line with what they particularly require, and that follows some of their overall standards, I suppose. Was the key thing. However, I said I would take some more time to actually look and review and have a better understanding of what it is that they're looking for, so that I can actually be able to contribute adequately. Because in this instance, this wasn't actually enough of a particular thing. It wasn't enough of a good system, though I felt as though it was adequate and modern in relation to the actual security mechanisms that had to be bypassed in relation to be able to actually, yes, it was very modern in relation to the security mechanisms that have to be bypassed for it to function accordingly, in essence. So in relation to psychologists, like, I've got no qualms with them, no problems at all in general. Try respect them, we try have an understanding of them, but sometimes they can come from a malicious place. You got to be careful about who you let into your mind. Don't just let anybody into your mind, because what they'll do is they'll just shit on it continuously. So personally, I got no qualms with them. I just don't like the majority of them. I like some, but not all of them. And there's got to be people who actually have respect for who you are, and your core being and your core values. Not somebody who's gonna, just extract information from you. Somebody who's gonna make fun of you. Somebody who's gonna come from a place of hatred. Even though they say that it's professional, you gotta be careful with it, because you know what people in the workplace are like. They say things are professional, and really, in essence, we all know and understand that it's really not coming from a professional standpoint. So you really got to be wise in relation to that. Personally, I have understandings in relation to things, and I know who I have a deeper trust for. And I know that there's good ones out there, but finding them is a different matter, and who will lead me to them or what will lead me to them is also a different matter. But I know also that I've been through major, I know people that have been through major abuses, due to them. The tricks and that they play, the manipulations that they play, the way that they impact your families and stuff like that. Just don't let them stress you. Is what I tend to say, because sometimes they come without you being aware, or without you having a correct understanding in relation to how things are actually formulated. The way that my family is formulated, I trust and believe in it. And if you want to stand there and believe them, you can. But most people, most creatures, they have a limited time span in relation to how they operate and what they can actually do. But that's besides the point. It is what it is. Most people don't want to build relationships, don't want to preserve relationships. They rather take another stance, where they only care about the limited few of them, whereas they don't care about everybody else. So while there might be plenty of people, a lot of them don't really give a shit about all the other people. So you always got to take that into account, and that's the truth of it. Yeah. And so I just want to say about Attack on Titan as well. If you're not looking forward to the perjury that's going, if you're excited about what's coming up next, especially with this season and everything, we wish they might have a bit more episodes, just to top it off or something like that. If you're not excited about the perjury that's going to ensue, it's just gonna be mad perjury, man. We're talking purge, I see glimpses of manga chapters. I haven't read it or nothing like that, but we're talking everybody, fam. None of that Scarface, no women and children thing. We're talking full-fledged perjury, men, women, and children, everybody, And I don't think there's gonna be selections in relation to because these people are Eldians and they support Malians or whatever the case may be. I don't want to give any spoilers away or nothing like that, but I don't think anyone would care in this particular instance of things. I don't think that anybody would be spared, from my understanding, and it's very dark. Nobody really understands what's going to ensue out of this. It's gonna be pretty drastic. It's gonna be pretty bizarre. It's gonna be pretty nuts. Yeah. The level of perjury that's going to occur. It's kind of if you're excited about this following season, that's what you're excited about. You're excited about this particular thing that is going to occur. That's not particularly good thing, but that's the thing that's got you excited to watch the next episode. That particular level of perjury. And I think that it's gonna be pretty decent in essence. It's sad though. Definitely, I'd say there's definitely aspect of it being a bit sad, just in terms of how it turns out and everything. Especially for the character. But there's definitely limits, and there's definitely You know, there's definitely things that need to occur there. And and it's just about, yeah, some people you can't live with some people, and that's the thing about it. Like, sometimes people just be chilling, minding their own business, but then people come and disturb that peace, for whatever reason that is actually unknown or understood, and that's where the problem starts to manifest from my perspective of it, and that's my understanding of it. Some people you can't live with, kind of like, yeah, 'cause they say you can't live with rodents, but I can beg to differ on that one. You know, um, and yeah, that's pretty much that really. But it's like some people are just, yeah, spiritual road, not I wouldn't say spiritual rodents, but some people would just disturb whatever it is that harmonizing aspect that you have developed for yourself, and intend to push you to the worst possible case um, that they can. And at the same time, it's pretty bizarre. That's my personal opinion. Like, I don't really care much. Like, if you know me, you know me, and you know what it is that I've gone through and sort of undertaken, and what it is that I care for and what it is that I don't care for. But they always state, do not go gentle into that good night, and that's the key thing there. Like, and there's things that I don't know as well. Like, a lot of things is just guessing. But you always gotta be cautious and trust in the other method or modality or methodology. I love my heart. And show it with my body. And and I experience it with my mind. Mm-hmm.